Side, and outrun a lot of people, but he is definitely not going to get knocked backwards. Nice call by Shiner. Set him up first and goal at the 3-yard line.
That was Doug Brooks, the junior, on the carry. Needed one, got maybe two. And now it's first and goal, like you said, from the 3, 4:45 and ticking to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, this is Shiner's cup of tea. You look up and there's a little over 4 minutes left in the first quarter, and Refugio hadn't even sniffed on getting the football yet.
Palmer under center, first and goal. Handoff into the end zone, touchdown Shiner. And they strike first. That's Zane Rhodes who punches it in from 3 yards out.
A little power play off tackle to the right. Zane Rhodes, I'm really impressed with the way this young man runs the ball. He's not getting a lot of the accolades, the number 1 or number 2 the Brooks brothers are getting, but this kid can flat out run, and he is tough when he's running up inside.
And now the extra point unit will come onto the field for the Shiner Comanches as they strike first with 4:31 to play here in the first.
I don't think Shiner's head coach and offensive coordinator could have scripted up a better scenario than what just started off. They're up 7-0. They knocked off 7.5 minutes off the clock. And we'll see how Refugio's getting ready to respond when they get the ball.
4:31 to go in the first quarter here on TexanLive.com.
Download the free Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Get live high school scores from across the state. Check out team schedules and show your school spirit live online. Download the best high school football app in Texas. Search Football Friday. Friday high school football isn't over till you watch High School Scoreboard live. Final scores, the big plays from gridiron games across the state.
Be a part of the most watched high school football show in Texas.
Friday night on Fox Sports Southwest.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Back and ready to resume play here on TexanLive.com from the Alamodome in San Antonio. I'm Gavin Ritz alongside former Angleton coach Ryan Rourke. And coach, from a coach's perspective, what should we expect now if you're a Refugio? You've got a lot of time taken off here in the first quarter, but you're getting the football back now for the first time, and you're already down by 7.
Well, here's the crazy thing. I'm watching Refugio's defense. They're really good. They haven't done anything overtly wrong at all. It's just plays that they're used to stopping people that are turned into 2nd and 8 or now 2nd and 6 just because of that big physical style of play that Shiner has. But I think you're getting ready to see when they get the ball on offense a completely different style of offense, more wide open, more spread, more receivers. And it's an interesting, different dynamic. It's going to be fun to watch.
Kickoff fielded at the 20-yard line by Refugio, breaking it out to the near side of the field across the 35, thrown down of bounds at the 37. It was Antoine Gross.
And Antoine, is a guy that's been there a couple years. I remember watching him last year in the state championship game, making a bunch of big plays, and he's one of the really, really solid athletes that Refugio has. And like I said a while ago, you're getting ready to see a wide open attack, and we'll see how Shiner responds to it defensively.
Leading the Refugio offense out onto the field is the sophomore quarterback number 12, Caleb Hesseltine. Like you said, this is a Refugio offense that averaging over 47 points a game. He scored 477 on the year. Here's Hesseltine in the gun by himself. Looking to throw, first play. Pass is caught and lunging forward across the 45 to about the 46. That was Ethan Perez, the senior.
Yeah, Ethan's another returning starter off last year's state championship team. Made a lot of big plays in the state championship game. The young Hesseltine kid, Caleb, just a sophomore, but he's a big kid. He's 6'1", 190, 195. Comes from a long line in the Hesseltine family. He's been known for outstanding athletes, coaches in the greater Corpus Christi area. So it's going to be fun watching this young sophomore quarterback, how he handles the pressure.
5 receivers out wide. Hesseltine will look to throw again. Pass is caught this time to the near side. Antoine Gross, and then it's incomplete.
Yeah, he kind of took his eye off the ball. They had something set up there on the slip screen. I think he was fixing to make a big play, but he looked ahead a little bit before he caught the ball and just dropped it. It's going to bring up a big 3rd down, play to start off here, late in the first quarter.
It'll be 3rd down and about a yard from their own 46-yard line. It looks like Hesseltine has come out of the game for this play.
Yeah, they got one of their multi-purpose guys, Jordan Kelly, that does a little bit of everything. He's their Swiss Army knife.
There goes Kelly to the far side of the field. Jordan Kelly off to the races. No one will catch him. Touchdown, Refugio.
Yeah, I was just about to mention Jordan. Outstanding play right there. You like to give him a ton of credit as he is an outstanding athlete, but he barely got touched on that play. So you got to give the offensive line the credit on that play. Jordan's one of those guys I watched on tape this week. He plays some running back. He plays some slot. He plays some wide out. punt returner, kick returner, and all of a sudden they put him in a Wildcat out there at quarterback. And you're going to see a bunch of this from Coach Herring today. You're going to see 3 or 4 different kids that will line up at quarterback, which is kind of crazy, but they are very, very good at it. Extra point is good.
It's knocked through by Alexander Placencia. And we're now tied at 7 apiece. 3:37 to go in the first quarter. You're listening to and watching TexanLive.com.
Years ago, Texas UIL football began to define competitive spirit and tradition. And from that moment, we changed how the game is played. Our gridirons shaped legends. Our leaders went on to bring home national championships and Hall of Fame honors, shattering records, some still standing today. Texas is high school football. Deeply rooted in all generations, Fox Sports Southwest and the UIL proudly celebrate 100 years of Texas high school football. Presented by Jack in the Box.
Back and ready to resume play here on TexanLive.com. Coach, we were talking about it during the break. That's how Shiner is going to start. They're going to pound the ball field, and then Refugio with a quick start to tie us up at 7 apiece. And like you said, this is how they play their game.
Yeah, 2 completely different contrasting styles, and it's kind of what I expected to see is played out so far. You know, one of the things that I want all the listeners and viewers to be aware of, both of these teams, you know, at the 2A level, you can't get away with it, but there's a bunch of 2-way starters out here for both teams. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a kind of a war of attrition to see who gets tireder first. I think as much as at stake, I think you're going to see a lot of adrenaline kick in. You're not going to see a lot of kids getting tired. It's going to be one heck of a battle.
Return will go up across the 20-yard line, finding a seam across the 30 and spinning down to about the 33 for Shiner. On the return was Drew Winsky.
Yeah, Drew's one of the starting wide receivers for Shiner. Actually, the starting wide receiver for Shiner. He made a nice move, picked up an additional 12 yards after making a guy miss at the point of attack. See how Refugio, see how they adjust defensively to what Shiner did to him on the first possession.
It's 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line for the Comanches as they come back out for drive number 2. And it looks like they will line up Doug Brooks, the junior running back, at wide receiver to the near side as Palmer's under center, single back behind him. Toss play, this is going to go to Zane Rhodes. And Rhodes will gain 2, maybe 3, down to the 36.
Yeah, kind of an unusual formation right there. They went with 12 personnel, had 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts, and 1 running back. And you don't see that very much from Shiner. I expect them to get back in their 2 back sets and do what they do best.
They call it a gain of 3. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7 as we approach the 3-minute mark and counting left to play here in the first. From the 36-yard line in their own territory. Palmer under center, Dalton Brooks behind him. Palmer, keep it off the option, running to the near side. He's going to be upended after gaining a yard, maybe 2.
It was the same formation they showed the play before, where they've got 2 wideouts, 2 tight ends, and 1 back set behind the quarterback. That time they ran what we call a midline read, where they're reading the defensive tackle. They don't block the defensive tackle on purpose, and they read him. The quarterback pulled it and turned up in behind him. Looked like they were going to have a big play, and all of a sudden number 9 comes out of nowhere and just pops him. Xavier Wills, a middle linebacker with Refugio, this kid is a flat-out baller. He can play.
Down to 2:30 and counting left to play here in the first as it'll be 3rd down and 5 for Shiner from their own 38-yard line. We haven't seen Shiner put the ball much in the air so far. Let's see what they like to do here. In the shotgun is Tyler Palmer. 3 receivers out wide, 1 to the near side. Man in motion. Palmer will look to throw. Flag is down. Palmer heaves it down the field. It's going to be caught inside the 30-yard line. Touchdown Shiner. Flag is down. Refugio thinks it's coming back.
It is. It's a motion penalty on number 2, Dalton Brooks. The other receiver went in motion. He flinched right before the ball was snapped. That was pretty easy to see from here. Unfortunately for Shiner, that's going to be a 62-yard touchdown comeback, and it's going to make it 3rd and 10. It was really unusual. I'm watching. They came out on the very first drive and ran 2 tight ends and 2 backs all the way up and down the field and just marched it up and down the field, and they haven't been in that formation since. And I kind of fully expect for the Shiner coaching staff to kind of get back. Maybe not on this play with it being 3rd and 10. I expect them to be in shotgun and one back. But what I was talking about, to get back into their rhythm and get back in their 2 tight end, 2 back group, because that's what they do best.
So the penalty will negate the touchdown on the big pitch and catch from Palmer. And now it's 3rd down and 10.
Heck of a throw and a heck of a play to Haynes on that touchdown, even though it was called back. You see what kind of explosiveness they have.
3rd and 10, Palmer back in the shotgun, man in motion. Looking to throw, Palmer rolling under pressure, fires, pass is going to be tipped and incomplete off the hands of his intended receiver. He was looking for Zane Rhodes.
Yeah, nice play. It looked like there was going to be another motion penalty, and to me there was. They just didn't call it. I'm over here looking at the Refugio coaches giving the earful to the referees, because he was in motion before the ball snapped. But fortunately for Refugio, pass was incomplete anyway, so we're going to see our first punt of the night. I didn't expect to see very many punts today. I still don't think we're going to, but here's our first one.
As they will punt it from the 33-yard line, the punter standing back at the 21.
Apologies a couple of times. I've already said tonight. I'm not used to calling a high school football game on a Friday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon while school's going on. So when I say tonight, I obviously mean today.
The punt will roll out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Refugio will start with excellent field position, 10 yards shy of midfield, 1:46 to go here in the opening quarter.
Big stop by Refugio's defense. You know, they're coming out on their second possession of the game. We'll see what kind of adjustment Shiner makes defensively, and we'll see if they're just going to stay in this wide open attack that they always are in. Got a lot of weapons offensively for Refugio. There's 4 or 5 different guys that can touch the ball and go out the gate on any play.
The sophomore Hesseltine back out to lead the offense. 1st and 10 from their own 40. Hesseltine in the gun. Handoff. Toss back to Jordan Kelly. Kelly's going to throw down the field. Pass is dropped. Now they say caught inside the 45. And he's down to the 37. I thought he couldn't hang on, but it looks like he got it.
Yeah, it hit his hands and it dropped, and he picked it right off his shoe tips, right before the ball hits the ground. You know, should have caught it clean. He might have had a touchdown, but he bobbled it and was able to maintain control. They're setting up shop at the 36-yard line of Shiner. They're pulling out all the stops, reverse pass on the very first play of the second series.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line of Shiner for Refugio's offense. Hesseltine will line up in the shotgun, 1 receiver out wide to either side. Hesseltine, handoff, running to the near side. That's Xavier Wills, who will gain about 2 to the 34.
Yeah, a little outside zone read right there. They're doing a little bit of the read stuff. You know, they're reading the defensive end. If he closes, quarterback's going to pull it. If he doesn't close, the quarterback's going to hand the ball off, and that's exactly what happened right there. So we got 2nd and 8.
Hesseltine will get the play call from his offensive coordinator, Cameron Cox. It is 2nd down and 8. Hesseltine in the gun. Play fake. Hesseltine, quarterback keeper, plunging forward, and he will make his way down to the 32.
Yeah, that's what you call a kind of a naked counter read right there, where the running back's going away from where the guys are pulling, and the quarterback reads. Same deal. He's looking at the defensive end. Defensive end closes. He's going to pull it. Defensive end stays put. He's going to hand the ball off. We got the big 3rd and 6 right here, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do if they go to the air again on 3rd down.
From the Shiner 32-yard line, they need to get to the 26 of the Comanches for a new set of downs. Hesseltine in the gun, 2 receivers up top. Hesseltine rolling, looking to throw, under pressure. Hesseltine's going to tuck and run, and he's going to have the first down the sideline, and he's laid out inside the 25. But it looks like they're going to give him the first down, I believe.
You know, it looked like throughout that play it was going to be a sprint-out pass, but I looked at the receivers, and they were blocking all the way, and he was just showing pass, and it was a quarterback run all the way. Kid showed a lot of speed. I watched him on tape. I didn't realize he was as fast as what I just saw right there, but he got the corner and picked up a big 10 yards and a big first down.
And the big run by Hesseltine to pick up the first down will end the first quarter after one complete your score. Shiner 7, Refugio 7, here on TexanLive.com.
Come enjoy the heart of Katy, Texas, one of the most delightful cities in the Lone Star State. The best part? It's a short drive from Houston and minutes from the Energy Corridor. With places to stay and places to play, anything you'd like to eat, and an old town charm that can't be beat. Activities and fun for the entire family. Enjoy the best of both worlds in the City of Champions, Katy, Texas. For more information, go to cityofkaty.com.
Let's get to it, America. Because joy doesn't just happen. You make it happen. And during the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event, we're helping you make even more joy. Come get the best deals of the season with offers on select Ford SUVs and Ford Fusion. Everything you need to make the holidays brighter than ever. That's how we're making joy this season. How will you? Now get $13,955 in savings on Expedition or 0 for 72 plus $2,500 on Explorer at your Texas Ford dealer.
Welcome me back in here on TexanLive.com. If you're just now joining us, start of the second quarter, Refugio 7, Shiner 7. Refugio now with a 1st and 10 from the Shiner 26. Keeper by Jordan Kelly up the gut, and Kelly is down to the 20.
Yeah, bringing in their all-purpose guy, Jordan Kelly, moving him back again to Wildcat quarterback. They were in an unbalanced formation right there. It just looked like a regular tight end, but it wasn't. They were center guard, tackle to the right. Shiner shifts over that way, and they run the quarterback power right up the middle away from it.
They call it a gain of 6. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4 from the 20 for the Bobcats of Refugio. Caleb Hesseltine back in at quarterback. He'll line up in the shotgun. 2nd down and 4, Hesseltine. Handoff, Xavier Wills up the gut, and Wills will be met at the 14, but not before picking up another Refugio 1st down.
Yeah, interesting play. That's the first time they've run that today. We call that an inside zone cut read, where they bring their H-back, their tight end across the formation to kick out the defensive end, and then they run the inside zone right up inside of it. Wills is a tough runner. He's an outstanding first-team All-State linebacker, but that rascal can run the ball too.
Ball at the 14-yard line of Shiner, 1st and 10 for Refugio. 2 receivers stacked to the near side, 1 receiver up top. By himself in the shotgun is Hesseltine. Hesseltine looking to throw. He will tuck and run. Quarterback draw. He's going to be thrown down in the backfield. Grabbing him by the jersey. Looked like it was Doug Brooks. And it was.
Yeah, they were set up, making it look like it was going to be another slip screen out here to these stacked receivers. But instead, he fakes it and runs a little quarterback draw off of it, and Brooks has sniffed it out from the get-go and made a big play. It's 2nd and 13, and it's going to be interesting to see if they get back some of their traditional stuff, or if they're going to put Kelly back in there at quarterback or leave Hesseltine there. And they got so many options that they do, and they do well.
They called a loss of 4 back to the 18, 2nd down and 14 now for Refugio. Hesseltine in the shotgun, a back to either side of him. He'll look to throw. Hesseltine under pressure, he's going to be hit. Loose football. There's a scramble for it. Shiner thinks they've got it, and they do.
Well, they brought Zane Rhodes off the end. The running back on the other side of the ball, and he hits the quarterback blind side. That's the defensive end's dream. Sack, fumble, recovery. And the biggest play of the game to this point, it's tied up 7-7. Big stop, a Shiner turnover. They'll take possession of the ball at the 27-yard line.
And Coach, one thing we talked about was who's going to make more mistakes, because both these teams are so great at what they do individually. And we saw a mistake by Shiner earlier, now a mistake by Refugio, and the Comanches now have the football back.
It is. It's going to be a game of mistakes. He who makes the least mistakes is going to win, because these guys, you can tell watching them, they're really, really competitive, and I would say pretty even as far as overall talent. There's lots of talent on both sides of the ball, especially for a 2A team.
Tyler Palmer with the 1st down, quarterback keeper to the 32. Call it a gain of 5. 2nd down and 5 coming up for the Comanches.
Getting back to their traditional 2 tight end, 2 back set. We'll see how they do on this stuff. I expect to see a lot of leads, powers, and veer. Tyler Palmer under center. There's the power. Handoff up the gut and getting upended across the 35 to the 36. Goes Dalton Brooks. What I'm talking about with the power for the viewers, that when you get a chance to watch it, you'll see they're blocking everybody down on the play side, pulling a backside guard up around through the hole for the near side linebacker, and using the other block to kick out the defensive end. You'll see 3 or 4 different variations that they'll run off of that play, but it's been good to them so far. 3rd down and a yard to go for Shiner. Under center is Palmer. They need to get to the 38 for a new set of downs, and a flag is down pre-snap. Looks like it's going to be a false start. That's a big play when it's 3rd and 1 and you're a ball control offense. It gives Refugio a little bit more freedom defensively to kind of dial something up and bring a lot of pressure. So back them up to a 3rd down and 6 with 8:47 to go in the first half. All the way back to their own 31-yard line. You know, Eli Boxell, the defensive coordinator for Refugio, does a great job of getting these kids just to run. And that's 3/4 of the battle when you play defense. If you get kids just flat out compete and run to the football, regardless of mistakes, you got a chance to be good. And that's what I'm watching for Refugio. They got kids that run to the ball.
3rd down and 6 from their own 31. Toss play, looking to pull up and throw. That's Doug Brooks. Now Brooks will tuck and run. He's going to have the first down. Brooks down to the 44.
Yeah, getting ready to run a pitch pass, and he makes a good decision. You know, backs just fall in love when they get that pitch pass call. They want to throw it no matter what, and he made a great decision in not throwing it and tucking it and run with it and running over 2 or 3 defenders. And something that looks like it was going to be a disaster play, you look up and he gains 13 yards on the play.
The one that finally brought him down was the middle linebacker, Xavier Wills, the senior for Refugio. But Shiner now with a 1st and 10 from their own 44. 8 minutes and counting to play in the first half. Palmer. Handoff up the gut to Dalton Brooks, who will gain 2.
Yeah, that looked like that power play I was just discussing a while ago, but it wasn't. This time they ran what we call an ISO. There was no backside guard pulling through. They just used the near running back to go take on the linebacker. Again, an effective play. They look the same if you're just kind of watching it, you know, but they're doing 2 or 3 different blocking schemes up front. It looked like the same thing just to give Refugio a little bit of a distraction about what they're doing.
2nd down and 8 now for the Comanches from their own 46. Man in motion for Palmer. Man in motion as Cash shows. Palmer, option play, running to the far side. He will try to cut it back up the middle, and he will gain a yard to the 47.
That plays a speed option. There's really no fake to it back. It's just the quarterback opening up and running speed option, reading the defensive end. That's the 3rd time they've run this in this ball game. Really haven't had a lot of success with it because Refugio's doing a good job of stringing that thing out and making the quarterback run with the ball.
So he did gain a yard to the 47. It'll bring up 3rd and 7 now for Shiner. They need to get to the Refugio 46 for a new set of downs. And the clock continues to move. 6:45 and counting to play in the first half. Now a stoppage in play. Looks like Shiner's going to take a timeout.
Yeah, and I saw what I saw, and it's an interesting dynamic. You know, they're using their all-state player, their corner, Antoine Gross. It was a big member of their state championship team last year. They're matching him up with the only wide receiver for Shiner, so it doesn't matter whether he's on the right side or the left side or whatever. He's going where that wide receiver is going. And I think one of the reasons there's a timeout called, even though Shiner called it, Shiner lined up with 2 wide receivers and twins in that formation right there, and they walked out Kelly, and I wasn't quite sure if Kelly was going to take the wide receiver and Gross take the tight end or vice versa. So I think that was where a little bit of confusion was right there.
So 6:40 to go in the first half, and it is going to be 3rd down and about 7 for Shiner. We haven't seen him put the ball in the air much, and Coach, if you're Shiner here, what do you do?
Well, you know, it's 3rd and 7. I hate to say this, but this is what they've done for years and years. This is still a running down for them, by all means. Now, don't be surprised if they come in and fake the down-the-line veer and then pop up and throw the tight end hot. That's something I've seen on video quite a bit, and they're really good at it because they make it look like run so much that it sucks the secondary and the linebackers up, and then they just pop it and throw it right past you. You know, I'm no Tony Romo, but you may see that this very next play right here.
It'll be 3rd down and 7 from their own 47, needing to get to the opposing 46 for a new set of downs. Palmer under center, man in motion out of the backfield is Dalton Brooks. Palmer, play fake. Under pressure, hit as he throws, pass down the field is going to be incomplete at the 25.
Excellent pressure again by Refugio, and we look up, here we go, and Shiner's going to be punting again for the 2nd time. You know, it reminds me so much, it's like Hearns and Hagler back in boxing match form. I'm, you know, kind of showing my age a little bit by saying that. But it's 2 prize fighters throwing punches, one after the other, making adjustments. You know, they jabbing, then they're uppercutting, then they're doing all this. And it's going to be the team that just flat out does not make any mistakes as far as turnovers is going to win this ball game. As I said this from the pregame, I think it's going to come down late in the 4th quarter before we know who's going to win this one.
Ball will be snapped from the 47, punt on the way, good kick. It'll be angled inside the 15, down inside the 5, still rolling for Shiner, and they will down it about the 3, maybe even the 2.
That was Michael Williams on the punt. You know, that was an outstanding punt. He spirals that thing, it turns over, goes all the way down to the 2-yard line. And it's a weapon, you know, and I'm not saying this to demean anybody, but at the 2A level, a lot of times when you got so many 2-way starters, you just don't see very many good kickers and punters and a lot of depth at other positions. That kid's a heck of a punter right there. That's a weapon when you can pin them down inside the 2-yard line right there.
So Refugio will start in the shadow of their own end zone. Bobcats from their own 2-yard line officially. With 6:20 to go in the first half. And of course the danger here becomes you run the spread offense. If you're Refugio, you line up in the shotgun in your own end zone. It becomes a little tricky.
Well, it's kind of unique. I was going to bring that up in a minute. I'll talk about that in a couple plays. But there they are in a power I down inside the 2-yard line.
Up the gut across the 5-yard line, trying to break it outside and making it up to the 8-yard line.
It's amazing. I see on Saturdays with big-time college football and even in some of the big 5A and 6A schools where teams that run the spread and get in shotgun, they don't ever get up underneath the center. And I never understood why. Even my oldest daughter used to ask me that. Said, Dad, whenever it's 3rd and inches with the game on the line, the quarterback still didn't get up underneath the center when he's got to gain 6 inches instead of having to run 6.5 yards to get a first down. And it's good to see, Coach Herring and them, they are a spread team out of the gun, but they also understand how to get up underneath center and, get those tough yards. There's a little play action.
Heseltine looking to throw in his own end zone, going to have to get rid of it, throws it away to the near sideline.
Really good decision by a sophomore quarterback right there. He could have forced it in there and possibly turned it over or sit there and held the ball too long and got hit for a safety or a touchdown. Really good decision and a lot of good poise from a young sophomore to throw the ball away right there. I'm very impressed with that.
It'll be 3rd down and 4 from their own 8-yard line for Refugio. As we got a couple of substitutions coming in the game. Coming in, it looks like, is Jordan Kelly, the junior.
Like I said, when you're in a spread all the time and you don't have the ability to get up underneath the center, when you need in games on the line and you need to get those tough half-yard or 6 inches like I was mentioning a while ago, you need to be able to have the ability to get up underneath the center.
As here's Xavier Wills running to the near side. Gain maybe a yard to the 9.
I'll tell you what, that's a heck of a stop by Shiner inside the 10-yard line. They changed the field position around with that excellent punt, pinned them inside the 10. It's 4th down. They don't have any option but to punt. It's you wouldn't dare go for it inside your own 10-yard line on 4th and 3. So Shiner's going to get some great field position out of this. I expect them to get the ball 35, 40-yard line.
As the senior Michael Thomas will stand in his own end zone ready to punt with 5 minutes and counting left to play in the first half. It is 4th down and about 2, officially from their own 10-yard line. Thomas gets the punt up and away.
Catch that.
He'll take a bounce to the 45 and now still rolling, and Shiner will start with excellent field position at about midfield.
Absolutely. Dalton Brooks on the return back there, and he made a mistake. He could have caught the ball around the 38, 40-yard line, decided to let it hit and roll, and it cost him about 10 yards of field position. There's another interesting thing I just noticed right there. The Swiss Army knife that I was referring to from Refugio, Jordan Kelly, plays a little bit of everywhere, defense, about 4 or 5 positions on offense. He's also their deep snapper. I tell you what kind of athlete that kid is.
And mark the ball officially at the 49-yard line of Refugio. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Comanches of Shiner. Palmer under center, 2 receivers out wide to the near side. Handoff, running up the gut, trying to break it maybe to the right, gaining to the 47.
Oh, power play to the right again. That time they went with 1 tight end. They took their other tight end. Number 44, Michael Williams, and flexed him out into an inside receiver slot just to try to draw that safety out of the box to be able to run the same play anyway. So they're just trying to play 9-on-9 instead of 9-on-10 with that kind of thought process.
They gain 2 on the 1st and 10 to run to the 47 now. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for Shiner. The one receiver to the near side is Drew Wensky. And under center is Palmer. Option play, Palmer running to the far side. He will keep it down to the 44.
I'll tell you what, that was outside veer all the way. Made a nice read not to give the ball to the fullback up inside. But he gets out on the perimeter. The strong safety comes up to tackle him. If he had pitched the ball, I think you're fixing to see a 45-yard touchdown right there. Playing a little bit conservative, got his shoulders over and got a couple extra yards and bringing up another big 3rd and 5 here.
3rd and 5 from the Refugio 44. They need to get to the Bobcat 39 for a new set of downs. Does the Comanche offense.
Got a good matchup down here with number 25, Trevor Haynes, lined up at wide receiver. The last time, he's normally a running back. The last time they lined him up at wide receiver, they threw a 62-yard touchdown pass that was called back. And it's kind of an interesting thing. I can see Coach Herring talking to their cornerback that's out here covering him, letting him know, hey, they're fixing to throw this guy. He doesn't normally line up at wide receiver. He's a running back. So be aware of what's going on.
So the false start penalty will back him up from a 3rd and 5 to a 3rd and 10 now, back to the original line of scrimmage at the Refugio 49.
Crazy thing, they've lined Haynes up out at wide receiver 2 different times in this whole ball game. Both plays they've had a little illegal procedure.
And now they're going to line Trevor Haynes up top by himself. Trips to the near side. Is in the gun is Palmer.
Straight man-to-man.
Looking to throw, pump fakes, fires down the field. Pass is going to be incomplete inside the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Refugio is not playing back and playing deep on 3rd and 10, and playing coverage. They're getting after it and playing sick 'em. They're, trips to the wide side of the field, 1 receiver to the boundary, and they're out there playing straight, pure man-to-man with 7 people still in the box.
So the incompletion will force a 4th down and 10 now as Shiner set to punt again with 2:43 this time to go in the first half. As 2 return men back deep for Refugio, being Antoine Gross along with Jordan Kelly. This punt will be angled toward Gross. He will not touch it as it'll bounce inside the 10, inside the 5, and...
Hey, it's Groundhog Day. I just saw the same thing like 5 minutes ago. Punting it down inside the 2-yard line 2 times in a row. What a weapon. And Michael Williams, a heck of a punter.
He'll mark it out at the 1.
Wow.
And once again, Refugio is going to start in the shadow of their own end zone, this time even further back.
Well, 99 yards to go, but I've seen Refugio over the years. They can chew out 99 yards in one heck of a hurry. I'm not sure against this, Shiner Comanche defense, but we'll see. It's such a cat and mouse game that's going on right now with adjustments between the coordinators offensively and defensively. And it's an exciting ball game. I'm excited to be here and be able to call such an outstanding game, number 1 versus number 2.
Refugio with a 1st and 10 from their own 1-yard line. And now a timeout's going to be called pre-snap by the Bobcats. Head coach Jason Herring here in his 14th season wants a word with his guys.
Refugio takes their first timeout of the half.
That is their first charge timeout with 2:34 to go in the first half. We'll be back here on TexanLive.com.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
100 years ago, Texas UIL football began to define competitive spirit and tradition. And from that moment, we changed how the game was played. Our gridirons shaped legends. Our leaders went on to bring home national championships and Hall of Fame honors, shattering records, some still standing today. Texas is high school football. Deeply rooted in all generations, Fox Sports Southwest and the UIL proudly celebrate 100 years of Texas high school football. Presented by Jack in the Box.
1st and 10 from their own 1-yard line for Refugio. As we welcome you back in here on TexanLive.com. Standing in the shotgun in his own end zone is Hesseltine. Hesseltine looking to throw, standing along the back line of the end zone, rolling. Hesseltine dumps it off down the field. Pass is going to fall incomplete to the far sideline.
Made another good decision of throwing it away right there. The one thing that's an issue when you're getting in the gun back there in the end zone, it's not the fact that, they say, they can do a lot of things out of that. The fact is, if you get a holding call and he's back there holding the ball, it's an automatic safety. So that's another dynamic of being in the gun in your own end zone that you don't have to worry about near as much when you're underneath. Not to say that you couldn't get a holding call when you're underneath, but you're limited on some of the things that you can do out of the gun when you're down on your own 1-yard line.
Back in the gun now on 2nd and 10 is Hesseltine. Hesseltine looking to throw. He's going to fire it down the field. Pass is incomplete across the 30-yard line, looking for Antoine Gross.
Outstanding coverage out there by Haynes. He's a 2-way player. The kid's got a lot of explosion in his legs. You can tell he's a very fast twitch muscle guy. Good coverage ability. Like I said all along, both of these teams are loaded with talent.
There's now 3rd and 10, still from their own 1-yard line, 2:20 to play here in this first half of action in a 7-7 ball game between the top 2 ranked teams in the state for 2A Division I.
I would be willing to bet they're going to take a shot to number 1, Jordan Kelly. He's lined up as a slot receiver.
As the time rolling, steps up in the pocket, fires, pass is too high and incomplete to the near side.
I'll tell you what, they were looking at Kelly. He couldn't get off press coverage right there. They were trying to throw to him, and he was getting manhandled in the slot. Kind of threw the quarterback off kilter, and he ends up throwing the ball out of bounds again. Now they're here. Now we're in a big-time bind. They're going to be punting from their own 1-yard line, which basically means the punter, who usually lines up 13 yards deep, is going to have to line up 10 yards deep. So it shortens the amount of time that the defenders have to get back to the punter, and it also shortens the amount of time he has to get the ball off without getting it blocked. So that, expect really good field position this time.
Michael Thomas, the senior, will stand along the back line of his own end zone, having to punt with 2:14 to go in the first half, and now we have a stoppage in play before the snap of the football.
Well, here's one thing I didn't understand right there. Refugio only had 10 players on the field, and they're trying to run another guy out there before the time runs out. And so he calls a timeout. I don't agree with that. I understand they got to do what they got to do, but if you get a delay of game penalty and you're already on the 1/2 yard line, that penalty is going to be about 4 inches. So just take the penalty, move them back 4 inches, get your guy in there, take your time, punt the ball away. So they burned a timeout over a 4-inch call right there.
Shiner set to get the football back with what should be pretty good field position. I mean, Thomas is a good punter, but they're backed up against their own 1-yard line, 2:14 to go in the first half,
and hopefully Dalton Brooks, number 2, learned from what happened last time, and he'll scoot up a little bit closer and field the punt instead of letting it hit the ground, because they're not going to get very good coverage down the field. When you're inside your own 1-yard line, they're having to protect to keep it from getting blocked for a touchdown. You're usually going to have really, really great opportunity to catch the ball and do something with it in this situation.
Michael Thomas standing in his own end zone, ready to punt. Thomas, it's going to be a short kick. It'll roll down to the 15 and out of bounds at the 19.
That's kind of exactly what I was saying. There's so many opportunities for bad things to happen when you're punting inside your own 1-yard line, especially a team like Refugio or even Shiner, when they had never had to do that all year long because they're dominating people left and right. And so what situation have they ever had in the last 13 ball games where they're punting inside their 1? So it's kind of a new deal to them, and you can see it didn't turn out very well for Refugio right there.
So we said Shiner would start with pretty good field position pending the punt, and they start with even better field position than we thought, already in the red zone at the Refugio 19. One receiver up top under center is Palmer. This will be a toss play to Dalton Brooks. Makes a man miss in the backfield. Brooks still going, trying to cut it back, and Brooks is down to the 15.
It was a good job of pursuing by Refugio's defense, but I'll tell you what, this young sophomore is a heck of an athlete. He made a couple of people miss, a good stiff arm to the ground, little Derrick Henry looking kind of stuff right there, and instead of taking a loss, it's 2nd and 5.
Down to a minute 40, clock continues to move. One receiver out wide to the near side is Winsky. Palmer under center. Palmer, handoff up the gut, Doug Brooks, and Brooks is down inside the 10 to about the 9. He should have a first down. It'll be 1st and goal now for Shiner.
Well, that's how you do it. You run 9 yards by going 9 yards. You're talking about a guy that got his shoulders down and went north and south. Watch out, boys. There's a freight train coming through, and that's impressive. That's my style of offense right there. You hand the ball off, you get those shoulders, and you head north and south. Nothing fancy, but it sure is effective.
1st and goal from the 8. It's a movement up front. Flags fly in, and we'll get the call from our head referee.
Yeah, it's going to be a motion penalty on number 33, their second tight end, Luke Rimschel. It's going to bring the ball back. It'll be 1st and goal at the 13-yard line or so.
Delay of game, charge to the defense.
Well, I was absolutely wrong. I saw him jump. The reason he jumped it is because they're simulating the snap. That's what the referee said. Refugio's defense is simulating the snap count, trying to get them to jump. It backfired on them. Now you got 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. You don't see that called very often, but it goes on more than you think. Those defensive guys get out there in the trenches. With this coronavirus stuff going on, when you have limited crowds, it's easier to hear that kind of stuff.
1st and goal from the 4. Palmer hands it off, plunging forward, trying to get in the end zone. This is Dalton Brooks. Did he get in? And they'll mark him down at the 1.
Nice little power play off to the right. The Shiner's getting back to what I mentioned to you at the break that I thought they needed to do on their next possession. They're trying to do too many different things to try to showcase a lot of different people. Win it out, get number 1 and number 2 in the backfield and feed on the ball going north and south, and that's exactly what they're doing, and you're seeing the results of it.
35 seconds in, counting. 2nd and goal from the 1. Palmer under center. Quarterback sneak. Palmer's going to punch it in easily. Touchdown, Shiner. Looks like there is a flag down.
Yeah, it's an offside penalty. It's going to be declined. Again, one of the big weapons that they do is get Tyler Palmer in there and run the quarterback sneak. He's got a real gift. I watched them on tape a bunch this week. He has got a knack, and it's harder than you think. I'm an ex-quarterback way back 40 pounds ago. But there's a real knack in knowing how to take that quarterback sneak, kind of wiggle your way through there. He's had 3 runs of over 50 yards this year on the quarterback sneak. It's crazy. It's a big play and puts them up 13-7 with the extra point coming.
They sit on the senior Connor Winkenwerder for the extra point. Snap down, kick on the way. And it is a 7-point game. Shiner now on top, 14-7. 27 seconds to play in the first half.
Yeah, you look up, you barely caught your breath, and it's almost halftime already. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a dogfight for 4 quarters.
Less than 30 seconds to go in the first half. We'll be back here on TexanLive.com.
Download the free Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Get live high school scores from across the state. Check out team schedules and show your school spirit live online. Download the best high school football app in Texas. Search Football Friday. Friday high school football isn't over till you watch High School Scoreboard live. Final scores, the big plays from gridiron games across the state.
Be a part of the most watched high school football show in Texas.
Friday night on Fox Sports Southwest.
There's always a way to make joy, America, so it's time to get to it. And with the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event, we're here to help. We're giving you the best deals of the season on the adventure-ready Ford Ranger and the Built Ford Tough Ford F-150 to help you make some extra joy this year. Because this season will be as bright as ever. Ford, built for the holidays. Now, get $11,245 total savings on F-150, plus an extra $1,000 trade assist cash. See your best in Texas Ford dealer.
We'll be back in here on TexanLive.com. Gavin Ritz alongside Coach Ryan Rourke. And Coach, less than 30 seconds to play in the first half. And Shiner now with a 14-7 lead, set to kick it away from the 40.
Well, the biggest thing they better do right now is not kick it deep to Jordan Kelly. They need to squib this thing, which they did the first time they kicked off, and let their defense play this thing out in the next 27 seconds.
It is a short squib kick fielded about the 31-yard line by Refugio, trying to cut it back across the 40-yard line. Flags are down.
Nice little return right there. They got all the way up to the 41-yard line. Looks like we're going to have a block in the back, though, and they're going to be backed up inside their 30.
I believe that was Isaiah Avery on the return for Refugio.
Isaiah's another kid I watched on tape some this week. He's a young freshman. He is going to be in the next long line of great players at Refugio. And, it just seems like they just keep rolling them through like a factory year after year at Refugio. And great tradition down there. Coach Herring has got something special going at Refugio. And that was one reason I got so excited to be able to call this ball game, is to see 2 traditionally really, really powerhouse 2A teams going at it after especially what happened last year and that crazy finish where Shiner had the big lead and gave it up late in the game. I kind of had a feeling Shiner was going to come out and throw some haymakers and let them know that they're here to stay.
As Heseltine takes a kneel down at the 15-yard line, that will likely send us to halftime with your score. Shiner 14, Refugio 7.
Great first half. There's been one big turnover. Refugio's made the turnover. You look up, they got a 1-score disadvantage. Shiner's got a 14-7 lead. I think it's going to come down to that in the second half. Who has the least amount of turnovers is going to win this ball game.
Once again, your halftime score, Shiner 14, Refugio 7. Stay tuned for all the halftime festivities here on TexanLive.com. Signing off until the third quarter alongside Ryan Rourke. I'm Gavin Moritz.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Good ideas catch on fast. Good clean food, even faster. Now delivering for lunch and dinner. Panera, food as it should be.
Let's get to it, America. Because joy doesn't just happen. You make it happen. And during the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event, we're helping you make even more joy. Come get the best deals of the season with offers on select Ford SUVs and Ford Fusion. Everything you need to make the holidays brighter than ever. That's how we're making joy this season. How will you? Now get $13,955 in savings on Expedition or 0 for 72 plus $2,500 on Explorer at your Texas Ford dealer.
Charlotte Rosenbacher, J.C. Christmas, Amy Meachon, Caitlin Meachon, Caleb Lawson. To our seniors, we are honored to have stood beside you for the last 5 years. You have held your head high and led this program with overwhelming leadership and pride. You are the definition of a Shiner Comanche, and we are so proud of you and all that you have accomplished. To our band, you are exceptional. You have come so incredibly far and have done so on such a crazy year. Thank you for your dedication, time, energy, effort, and pride in what you do. You are an amazing group of students, and you have turned this band into a family. We are so proud of you and everything you do. Ladies and gentlemen, for one last run, here is the Shiner Comanche Band. team Zachary and Whitney Sims, and the wonderful and multi-talented Jacob Schulte. Twirling sponsor is Mrs. Stacia Remack. Color guard sponsor is Miss Laura Redburn. Another huge thank you to our tribe for your outstanding support of this band program. We cannot thank you enough. Go Comanches!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now taking the field is the pride of the Bobcat Nation, the Refugio Mighty Bobcat Marching Band. This afternoon we present our 2020 contest show titled Man of Steel by Hans Zimmer. The drum majors for the band are Miss Sarah Wright and Miss Abby Duncan. Drum majors, you may begin your 2020 contest performance.
punts, 42.6 yards. Imperial 2 punts, 28.5. Imperial 3 penalties, 34 yards. Shiner 3 penalties, 15.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Back and ready to resume play here at the start of the second half on TexanLive.com. Gavin Moritz alongside head coach Ryan Rourke, former Angleton coach. And coach, what should we expect coming into the second half?
I think you're going to see a lot of the same. As I mentioned right before halftime, I think it's going to come down to who makes the critical mistake or the critical penalty in a critical situation. Right now, it's kind of played out the way I thought it would. We'll see what happens in the second half.
So Refugio will start with the football. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line as back out will come the Bobcat offense, trailing by 7. And, Coach, it was a 7-7 game for most of the first half, and then the Comanches took a 7-point lead to go into the halftime break.
Yeah, off a kicking game and down there by the goal line. You know, a poor punt set them up 1st and goal, or 1st down at the 17-yard line. They capitalized, and that's the difference in the game.
So the new quarterback to start the second half. This is Jordan Kelly lined up in the Wildcat, and a flag is down at the snap of the football.
Prior to the snap, ball start, number 14 of the offense.
A little illegal motion is going to bring them back 5 yards, 1st and 15. They're getting ready to run a little jet sweep to the wide side of the field. I could tell by the way the wide receiver cut his splits down. He was getting ready to go crack the safety, and they're getting ready to arc release out on this corner right here.
It'll be 1st and 15 from their own 30-yard line. The first play now officially coming up to start our third quarter of action as Kelly is still in at the Wildcat quarterback position. Man in motion is Gross. Kelly will keep it off the jet sweep fake, and Kelly is down to the 31 for a gain of a yard.
That's the identical play they ran in the first series. They faked the jet sweep one way, ran the quarterback power the other way. Last time he went 50, 60 yards for a touchdown. This time Shiner was a little bit more ready for it. This opening series is going to be critical for Refugio. They can't afford to go 3 and out and give Shiner the ball back with that ball control offense. They need to make this one count if they're going to, stay tight with this ball game for 4 quarters.
2nd down and 14 coming up. Refugio backed up to their own 31-yard line as still in at quarterback is the junior Jordan Kelly. Kelly in the gun. He'll look to throw. Rolling. Kelly's going to fire. Pass is caught at the 41. Flag is down. For the moment, it's a reception for Alan Perez.
Jordan Kelly showing a little bit of his versatility. He's usually a receiver and a safety and a Wildcat guy and a little bit of everything. There he is rolling out, throwing a strike down on the sideline. It's a heck of a play. Kid's just, he's so multiple and so versatile. It's one of those situations. Do you take the penalty and make it 2nd and 9, or do you take the down and make it 3rd and 5? It's one of those darned if you do, darned if you don't. And I like what they're doing, taking the 10 yards and making it 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 5.
It'll officially be 3rd down and 4 from their own 41-yard line for Refugio as Jordan Kelly still in at quarterback in the gun. 2 receivers up top. Kelly will roll looking to throw. Kelly, tuck and run, hitting the outside. He's going to have the 1st down, still in bounds, and he will truck his way to the 45-yard line.
Tell you what, that's a nice play. Number 22, the defensive end for Shiner, Zane Rhodes made a critical mistake. They're running sprint out to his side, and he tries to run underneath the block to get to the quarterback. As soon as he does that, he loses contain. Kelly runs for an extra 10, 15 yards. He's got to be able to keep that contained and make Jordan Kelly set up inside where he's not near as big of a threat.
Looks like Caleb Hesseltine is going to come back in at quarterback. Kelly will line up in the slot to the near side as Hesseltine will line up in the gun. 1st and 10 from the 45 of Shiner.
You noticed every time Kelly lines up wide receiver, they're shadowing him with Dalton Brooks. It doesn't matter whether he's an inside receiver, outside receiver. It's pure, he's going after him.
And blown up in the backfield. Getting back there for Shiner is Eli Frick, the junior linebacker. And nowhere to run.
Heck of a play. He came on the blitz. You know, he's lucky he didn't fumble the football right there. That's a big play for Shiner.
A loss of about 4. Back him up to the 49-yard line. Still in Shiner territory, but now it's a 2nd down and 14 for the Bobcats.
Yeah, you can expect probably a jet sweep or a faking the jet sweep and running the quarterback counter or inside power to the inside. I think as deep as he's lined up, I expect a motion coming across. This is what we're getting. There's Kelly. The power inside.
Kelly will keep it. Here goes Jordan Kelly down inside the 45 to the 41.
That seems to be their go-to play in long yardage situation, either running the jet sweep or faking the jet sweep or running the quarterback power up inside.
So it's a gain of about 8 to the 41-yard line. We'll bring up 3rd down and 6 now for Refugio. A bit more manageable situation for the Bobcats.
Yeah, you know, Bobcat, I'm watching them right here. Refugio is playing a lot of different players and a lot of different personnel groupings. You know, they're shuttling in 3 or 4 or 5 players at a time, which is highly unusual for a 2A school to have this much depth.
Hesseltine, play fake, looking to throw, stops, fires down the field, has been open, is going to be incomplete to Gross. Looks like he's going to be able to stay in bounds inside the 15, and it falls incomplete.
You know, that's the craziest looking play as I'm watching it unfold. I saw this on film earlier in the week. They're running a bootleg, and I think they're trying to set up a screen to the short side of the field, but whenever he saw the corner lose coverage, he took off and fired it down the sideline. It would have been a touchdown if he throws the ball on the money. He just threw it out of bounds. So, you know, they messed up on a big play to either throw the screen to the short side of the field or hit him on the money. So now you got a 4th and 7. And there's no question at all what Refugio is going to do from the 41-yard line. They're going to load up on 4th and 7 and go for it.
Caleb Hesseltine, the quarterback, is in the gun by himself. 4th down and 6, looking to throw. He dumps it off. Pass is going to be caught in the flat to the near side across the 40-yard line. Down there, and Shiner will take over on down.
I'll tell you what, that was a heck of a play by Eli Frick out there. He's usually an inside linebacker. They line him up out in coverage because it's 4th and 7. Fights through the blocker, doesn't take on the blocker, runs through the blocker, cause him to, you know, lose his balance. Huge play right there. Shiner's taking over on downs.
So the Comanches will start with a 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. 9-12 to play here in quarter number 3. Shiner with a 7-point lead over Refugio.
It's kind of a danger zone right here, you know, especially what Shiner does. If they can march the ball down the field and put some points on the board. Back to their traditional 2 tight end, 2 back set. There's the power again, off tackle.
Going to hand off to Rhodes, who will gain a yard up to the 41.
Good play by their defensive tackle, Nathan Marsh, right there. Stuffed that play on a power. It's going to bring it up 2nd and 9. Again, for those of y'all who aren't listening, the first half, power basically is meaning everybody on the play side is blocking down. The near back is kicking out the defensive end, and the backside guard's pulling up through the hole. It seems like Refugio's made some adjustments on this play, and I think they're going to have to go to some little bit different stuff.
Comanches now with a 2nd down and 9 from their own 41-yard line. 1 receiver out wide either side as Tyler Palmer is under center. Palmer, toss play, bouncing it up the gut. That's Doug Brooks, the junior, who will gain 3 to the 44.
A little 12 personnel package, 2 tight ends, 1 back, 2 wide outs. Kind of an unusual play. They're running the tall sweep, and they're running it right at a strong safety who's going unblocked, but the way they're blocking it, they're trying to turn it up inside. So even though it's a pitch play, it's more of a B-gap, C-gap type play, and they're not even worried about blocking that secondary perimeter guy.
It'll be 3rd down and 6 now for Shiner from their own 44. They need to get to exactly midfield to pick up a new set of downs. With 7:58 and counting left to play here in quarter number 3. Tyler Palmer in the shotgun. Man in motion is Rhodes. Palmer will keep it off the jet sweep fake, and he is going to be thrown down about 3 yards shy of the line to gain at the 47.
The absolute identical play that Refugio's been running the first half, faking the jet sweep and run the quarterback power in behind it. The exact same play. You know, it reminds me a lot of that one in the play before where they're running that power pitch. Mason High School, who's won a couple of state championships under the legendary coach Burns, That's what we've seen some of that, where it looks like a toss coming outside and they end up running it right up the chute. And again, it's a cat and mouse game. Both teams have come out in one possession and had to punt.
As Jordan Kelly and Antoine Gross are back deep to field the punt, standing inside their own 20-yard line. Shiner set to boot it away from about their own 36. Kick on the way, shorter kick, and it'll be angled out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it.
Kind of shake the punt. You know, he had two unbelievable punts in the first half, and he kind of let that one get away from him. It's only going to be about a 15, 20-yard punt. Refugio will take shot at the 40-yard line, and here we go.
It'll be first and 10 Refugio, 7:01 to play here in quarter number 3. And if you're the Bobcats, you have plenty of time, but you are down by 7. So what's the situation here for your Refugio?
Oh, it's anybody's game. Just play your game. You know, stick to your game plan. There's an eternity still on the clock. We still have 19 minutes to play. It's going to be a dogfight, like I've been saying all along, and we're going to see who holds up the longest with a lot of two-way starters in the game.
It'll be a handoff up the gut and powering his way to the 42 for a gain of 2, and not much else.
You know, again, they're faking the jet sweep and running the power up inside. This time it's a running back power instead of quarterback power. I think that play loses a little bit of its cachet when they have Hesseltine back there at quarterback, because even though he's a really good athlete as a sophomore, he's not near the threat as Jordan Kelly is running the football to go the distance.
They call it a gain of 2. It'll bring up second down and 8 for the Bobcats of Refugio. It looks like we'll have Jordan Kelly lined up at quarterback now with 8 yards to go. They need to get to midfield for a new set of downs. Here goes Kelly. Flag is down. Fires. Pass is low and incomplete. Intended target was Alan Perez.
I saw that one before the ball was snapped. The outside linebacker lined up at least a yard offside on that play. So that's an easy call, offside. Number 3, strong safety, lined up way offside, so it's going to give them a break, and it's going to give them about a 2nd, 3, 2nd, 4 situation.
I believe they're going to get Ryan Peterson, the sophomore, for Shiner on the infraction. That'll move it up to a 2nd down and 3 yards to go from the 47 for Refugio.
Yeah, it's just a mental mistake when you're lining up offsides on a slot receiver. You've got to look and see if he's an on-the-line receiver or an off-the-line receiver, and he lined up like he was an on-the-line when he was off.
Hesseltine will keep it off the jet sweep once again. He's going to be met immediately in the hole, losing a yard.
Quarterback power again off the jet sweep. Stuffed it up inside. You know, I'm so impressed with both of these teams' offensive line and defensive lines. They're physical. They get after it. You know, there's a reason why these two teams are ranked number 1 and number 2 in the state. You know, a lot of schools have good skill players and kids that can run and running backs and receivers, but both of these teams have the entire package with a lineman too.
It is 3rd down and 4 from their own 46 now for Refugio. Jordan Kelly in the gun at quarterback. Man in motion is Antoine Gross. Kelly, keeper running to the near side, got blockers out in front. Kelly will power forward across midfield down to the 49. He's got a Refugio first down.
You know, that's a heck of a play right there. Again, faking the jet sweep, one way run, the quarterback power the other way. They actually are in more like a buck sweep action. They pulled both guards right there. And Kelly made a heck of a play. He was stopped about 2 yards short of the first down, got his shoulders over and showed some toughness right there to pick up the first down.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the Shiner 49 now for Refugio, as they will put Kelly back out in the slot at receiver to the far side, and Hesseltine will line back up at quarterback.
Little empty formation.
Hesseltine in the gun, looking to throw. 1st and 10, fires. Pass is high, but reeled into the near sideline.
Excellent hands by Antoine Gross right there making the catch, but he had to come back toward the line of scrimmage to catch it. It was high and outside, so it's just a minimal gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Like you said, the nice grab by Antoine Gross. And they've got 2 receivers, Jordan Kelly and Antoine Gross for Refugio, that can kind of do it all.
Yeah, they've got so many versatile players, and I think that's by design. I think Coach Herring, whenever they're designing their offense, not just during the season but during the offseason, they're coming up with all the things that these kids can do well and kind of accentuating those things. It's an old expression, quit worrying about what a kid can't do and figure out what he can do well and start putting him in those situations, and that's what Coach Herring does a great job at doing.
Hesseltine throws, pass is going to be caught by Gross on the screen. Gross making a couple moves, breaking it outside, and he's down inside the 45 to the 41.
Yeah, it's a good play on a slip screen. You got Christian Wagner, outside linebacker for Shiner, almost ripped that ball out of there before he went down. Made a nice play, bringing up 3rd and short, kept them from getting the first down.
And Coach, this is a situation where if you're Refugio, you can do just about anything you want on 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, I agree with that, but also you got to look at it defensively. Shiner can do a lot of things. They can bring the house because it's 3rd and 2 because they're not expecting them to throw the ball. Kind of like my old defensive coordinator at Angleton. He loves these 3rd and 2s, Jason Britton, because he's going to dial up a big-time blitz, and he's going to make you pay for being conservative on 3rd and short.
Here goes Kelly on the keeper fake off the jet sweep. Kelly is down inside the 40 to the 39, and this will be close.
Yeah, it's an identical play they've been running. There's a little variation off of it. Fake the jet sweep to the strong side and running the buck sweep with both guards pulling with the quarterback to the short side of the field. Barely picked up the first down. That was a big conversion for Refugio to move the sticks.
Refugio now will have a 1st and 10 inside the Shiner 40 at the 39. It looks like Caleb Hesseltine will come back out to lead the offense at quarterback. We've seen Kelly, they mix it up with Kelly here in the second half a lot more than they did in the first half thus far.
I think when you get in those critical 3rd down short, 3rd medium, I think you're going to see Kelly back at quarterback a lot more. When they get into these empty sets like they're doing right now, they're doing it to let Hasseltine do what he does best, which is throw the football.
As Antoine Gross is finally going to be driven down to the 34 for a gain of about 5. Set up 2nd and 5 for the Bobcats.
Well, you know, there's 3 out of the last 5 plays they've gotten into an empty set, and they're forcing Shiner to take their inside linebackers, their Sam and their Willie linebacker, and try to move them outside, and they're only moving one of them outside, so you're getting a mismatch of 3-on-2, 3 receivers against 2 defensive backs, and they're just blocking up the 2 receivers on their 2 defensive backs, throwing a slip screen to the 3rd one. So, you know, Shiner's going to have to make an adjustment, and they're going to have to put that 3rd defender out there with the trips.
2nd down and 5 now from the 34 of Shiner. In the gun for the Bobcats is Hesseltine. He will revert back to being under center. He'll hand it off to Kelly on the end around. Here comes Jordan Kelly, who is down inside the 35 to the 32.
Yeah, this time they've been in the gun. They walked up, ran the jet sweep to Kelly. You talking about versatile kid. They're finding so many different ways to get him involved in the game. And, you know, excellent play right there by sophomore strong safety Ryan Peterson. He came in, fought off a block, and made a big play right there.
Sets up Refugio with another 3rd down, and we'll call it 3 this time. They converted on the last one. It was 3rd and 2.
Yeah, I expect to see the same thing. You know, they're going to put the formation out to the field. I think they're going to fake outside zone right here, run the quarterback into a power on the inside. Oh, we got a motion penalty.
And the flags fly in as Kelly was ready to take the snap at quarterback in the Wildcat. Here's the call.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty.
I tell you what, Shiner might be really relieved that happened because they were getting ready to fake the jet sweep and power and throw up the seam to the tight end, and I could already, to the slot receiver, I could already see the safety biting up on the run. That was getting ready to be 6 points right there. I think Shiner better be relieved that play got stopped.
Back it up from a 3rd and 3 now to a 3rd and 8 for Refugio. 2:15 in, counting to play here in quarter number 3. From the Shiner 37, Kelly in the gun at quarterback. Kelly rolling, looking to throw. Kelly stiff arms the defender, and Kelly will hit the sideline, and he's upended at the 35.
I tell you what, Zane Rhodes, defensive end from Shiner, learned his lesson. A while ago, when they ran that 4th down play, and he lost contain and ran underneath the block. This time, he didn't run underneath the block. He did not make the tackle, but he forced that quarterback all the way to the sideline. And now you got a big 4th down play right here. So kudos to Rhodes for being coachable and being a big senior player for them, and came up big right there. This is play of the game right here to this point.
And it appears we have an official's timeout on the field. We'll take one with them here on TexanLive.com.
Download the free Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Get live high school scores from across the state. Check out team schedules and show your school spirit live online. Download the best high school football app in Texas. Search Football Friday. Friday high school football isn't over till you watch High School Scoreboard live. Final scores, the big plays from gridiron games across the state.
Be a part of the most watched high school football show in Texas.
Friday night on Fox Sports Southwest.
There's always a way to make joy America, so it's time to get to it. And with the Ford Built for the Holidays sale.
There's a 4th down and 5. Refugio set to go for it. Hesseltine throws as we come back out of the break. Pass is incomplete to the near sideline.
You know, a good call. Sprint out to the wide side of the field. You know, they ran what they call a flood. Deep receiver down the sideline. Middle man about 12 yards deep, and a receiver running to the flat. And the middle man was open. He just overthrew him. That's just flat out what it was. That's a bad time to have an overthrow on 4th down. Gives Shiner the ball back. They're set up in business, and again, as I said last possession, this is going to be critical for Refugio's defense to see how they're going to hold up to all this pounding, because like I was saying a while ago, you've got a lot of these kids that are out there on the defense for Shiner are two-way players.
1st and 10 for the Comanches now from their own 34-yard line. Palmer back out under center, 2 backs behind him.
I wouldn't doubt if they ran a quarterback sneak here. He just loves to do that with a little nose guard, about a 140-pound nose guard. And there they are running it right up the middle.
We're going to hand it off up the gut to Zane Rhodes, who will gain about 8 to the 42.
Wow, as a wing T guy over the majority of my career, you know, that play is near and dear to my heart. They trapped it and ran a little old trap up inside. The first time they've done that today. And big play, 2nd down and 2. Hope they keep running it. You know, one of the best offensive line coaches I ever had to coach a trap is a guy named Robbie Beisel out of Bowling High School. It's our offensive line coach. He does a great job of coaching that trap.
2nd down and 2 now. They will hand it off up the middle once again and getting driven back close to the line to gain. But it looks like Shiner's going to be able to pick up the 1st down. They gain 3.
You know, one of the things that impresses me as much as anything about Shiner's football team, obviously they have talent at the perimeter positions. But their backs and their offensive line are physical. They play it old school, you know, like the old teams from the 60s and 70s where you weren't 10 passes thrown in an entire ball game. But it's not boring to watch for me. It's exciting. It's old school smash mouth football with backs that have learned to play with toughness. And you look up and you think he's only gained 1 or 2 yards and it's 4 or 5 because of the toughness factor.
One receiver out wide to the near side. Palmer will hand it off up the gut and down to the 49, a yard shy of midfield. Goes Doug Brooks, and that should end our 3rd quarter.
Doug Brooks on that carry.
Excellent play by number 57. Hadn't called his name much, but they do a great job as Hayden LaFrance fell inside and made a good play on the ISO. You know, there's the brothers LaFrance. They're both the defensive ends for Refugio. You know, both of them are juniors. Both of them are outstanding players.
After 3, complete your score. Shiner 14, Refugio 7. We'll be back with the final quarter of regulation and more after this here on TexanLive.com.
100 years ago, Texas UIL football began to define competitive spirit and tradition. And from that moment, we changed how the game was played. Our gridirons shaped legends. Our leaders went on to bring home national championships and Hall of Fame honors, shattering records, some still standing today. Texas is high school football. Deeply rooted in all generations, Fox Sports Southwest and the UIL proudly celebrate 100 years of Texas high school football. Presented by Jack in the Box.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Welcome you back into the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, here on TexanLive.com. Gavin Ritz alongside Ryan Rourke. And Coach, we got 1 quarter to go, and it's a good one.
Yeah, it's 4th quarter. It's gut check time right here, and especially on this opening drive of the 4th quarter. You know, Refugio's got to get these guys off the field. They got to get Shiner off the field.
And in motion was Drew Wensky. Palmer under center. Handoff looks like a counter play going to Dalton Brooks, hitting the outside. Here goes Dalton Brooks inside the 40-yard line. He's got the 1st down and plenty more.
Yeah, he get that old dead leg fake right there. You know, that was a buck sweep, and he ended up bouncing it outside. You know, it reminded me, I watched Hallisfield play a few weeks ago, and there's another Brooks that plays for Hallisfield. And come to find out, they're cousins. Talking about their running back from Hallisfield, it's a 4-star running back, had 9 touchdowns last week. And, you know, you can tell the genetics are there. There's no doubt about it. That was a good-looking play, good-looking run.
They advance the ball to the 37-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Shiner. And this is a big drive for both sides, especially the Refugio defense that, like you said, needs to get a stop.
Most definitely. They're going to have to dial some things up and take a few chances if they want to get them off the field.
Here's a keeper for Palmer up the gut, and Palmer is going to be close to a 1st down. Looks like he gained 9 on 1st and 10.
You notice that something I was watching with Palmer this week on video. He has a knack of being able to find little creases up inside where it looked like everything's kind of muddled up and he's not going to get any yardage, kind of like he does on the quarterback sneak, and then he pops free out of there. He's real patient with the style of the way he runs, and he also takes care of the ball.
Of course, Tyler Palmer, the senior quarterback, you know, he's been around for a while, is leading this Shiner offense. It'll be 2nd down and 1 here from the 28.
Yeah, Refugio needs a turnover is what they need.
And breaking it outside inside the 15-yard line, finally getting thrown out of bounds is Zane Rhodes, the senior.
Yeah, they come at you in waves at running back, don't they? You look up and you figure, all right, there's another guy getting the ball. There's another guy getting the ball. And they're all productive. And what that leads you to believe is obviously they got some talent with the running backs. It leads you to believe they've got a really good offensive line. It doesn't matter who's playing running back. They're coming off the ball and creating some holes and some running lanes.
10:39 left to play. Shiner on the move now inside the Refugio 15 at the Bobcat 14. Palmer is under center, one receiver out wide to the near side. Here's another quarterback sneak for Palmer. This time he'll be down to about the 10, maybe the 9.
Isn't that amazing? 1st and 10, game on the line. They run quarterback sneak on 1st and 10 for 6 yards. As I was telling you at the start of the game, that's part of their staple offense, and people don't believe that when they hear that until you actually see them play in person. You're thinking, what in the world are they doing running quarterback sneak? But they're really good at it, so why not?
They gained officially 5 on that quarterback sneak on 1st and 10. Now at the 9-yard line of Refugio, it'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Comanches of Shiner. 10 minutes to play and counting. Palmer under center. Man in motion. Handoff is going to go to Dalton Brooks this time, and Dalton Brooks is down to the 7.
Yeah, a power play to the left side. One of the things I'm noticing right now, I'm seeing a couple of the defensive backs from Refugio kind of limping around, and I'm seeing about 4 or 5 guys with their hands on their hips, which is a telltale sign is I'm tired. And whatever they've got to do, they've got to muster it up deep from inside themselves and get after it and try to get a big stop here on 3rd and 2.5, 3rd and 3.
They need to get to about the 4 for a 1st and goal. From the 7 now, it is 3rd and 3 for the Comanches. Man in motion is Cash Shows. Palmer under center. It's going to be a handoff to Brooks. Brooks inside the 5, and Brooks is in for the touchdown.
Big play, big play. Time of possession is such a critical part of Shiner's makeup of what they do each and every week. And one of the things they do when you get in short yardage situation, you're going to turn and hand the ball to a 250-pound freight train. And even if they're playing the defense correctly, they hit him right in the hole, he's not going to get knocked backwards. He's going forward 2 or 3 yards, exactly what you saw right there. We're an extra point away from a 21-7 ball game.
The senior Connor Winkenwerder will come on to kick the PAT, looking to make it a 14-point game, and he does just that. 21-7 Shiner, 9:14 left to play here on TexanLive.com.
Let's get to it, America, because joy doesn't just happen. You make it happen. And during the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event, we're helping you make even more joy. Come get the best deals of the season with offers on select Ford SUVs and Ford Fusion. Everything you need to make the holidays brighter than ever. That's how we're making joy this season. How will you? Now get $13,955 in savings on Expedition or 0 for 72 plus $2,500 on Explorer at your Texas Ford dealer.
100 years ago, Texas UIL football began to define competitive spirit and tradition. And from that moment, we changed how the game was played. Our gridirons shaped legends. Our leaders went on to bring home national championships and Hall of Fame honors, shattering records, some still standing today. Texas is high school football. Deeply rooted in all generations, Fox Sports Southwest and the UIL proudly celebrate 100 years of Texas high school football. Presented by Jack in the Box.
9:14 left to play here on TexanLive.com as we welcome you back into the Alamo Dome. Gavin Moritz alongside Ryan Rourke and Coach. Refugio set to get the football back, and they've got to score now.
They do. It's critical. They've got to get something positive happening. Shiner just took a long drive and kind of took the wind out of their sails. When we were at the break a while ago, I mentioned to you off air, look at the body language. As soon as they scored that extra point, Shiner, we had 11 kids from Shiner sprinting off the field excited. And I looked over and I have 11 defensive players from Refugio with their hands on their hips, slow walking off the field. And to me, it says it all. They've got the momentum, and they've got to figure out something to get it back.
So we fielded inside a hop, inside the 20. This is Gross, trying to break it back up the gut, and Gross is across the 30-yard line, still going across the 35 down to the 36.
Outstanding individual effort by Gross. He almost popped that thing out of there. Same time, he fumbled right there at the end of the play. The referee had blown it dead. I'm not quite so sure, but regardless, they're giving Refugio the ball starting at the 35, 36-yard line. Biggest drive of the game by far for Refugio. We're going to find out if they're going to stick with Heseltine as their full-time quarterback or if they're going to start putting Kelly more back there in that Wildcat quarterback.
It appears Heseltine will start the drive at quarterback. 1st and 10 from their own 36. He's by himself in the shotgun. Heseltine looking to throw on 1st down. Steps up, evades the rush, running to the near side. Heseltine will be thrown down behind the line, back at about the 34.
Great pursuit from the defensive line at Shiner. He flushed out of the pocket. You've got Doug Brooks, who doubles as a two-way starter, running back and defensive tackle, ran him down from behind for a loss of 2.
Lane Road.
It's now 2nd down and 12 for Refugio. Heseltine still in the game at quarterback as we have a trips bunched up to the near side.
Probably going to get a screen play to the short side of the field. You got 3-on-2.
Heseltine will look to throw again on 2nd and 12. Fires down the field. Pass is going to be caught by Gross inside the 35.
Wow. Big play, big play. They needed it. Refugio needed that in the worst way. Interesting dynamic right there. This is one of the oldest plays you see. They were Shiner was in a cover 3 look, which means that 3 deep. The outside receiver ran a post. The cornerback ran with him. The rail route came in behind. The corner should stay outside and release that inside route to the safety. He didn't. He ran inside, left the rail route wide open. And that gives them new life.
That was exactly what Refugio needed, as now they have a 1st and 10 just outside the Shiner 30-yard line at the 31. Heseltine by himself in the gun looking to throw again. He goes back to Gross. Gross hitting the outside, and he's knocked out at the 29.
The line judge over here on the side was awful close to throwing a personal foul on number 24 for a late hit. And he decided, to let the kids play it out, which I was glad to see that, but he was awful close to getting a penalty right there. Same play as we saw earlier. They're getting 3-on-2 out there and just throwing a little slip screen out there to Gross and seeing what he can do with it.
They called a gain of 3 on the 1st down connection from Heseltine to Antoine Gross. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Heseltine drops back looking to throw. Steps up, fires, pass is going to be tipped and nearly picked off inside the 15. Off the hands of his intended target and nearly picked off by Dalton Brooks.
Yeah, that was a 2 wide receiver set. And the unusual thing about that, because Refugio is such a wide open team, that time they protected with 8 and only sent 2 receivers out on the route. They sent an outside deep route on the wide side of the field and ran a crossing route with the inside receiver. Lucky that wasn't intercepted right there.
So big break for Refugio. That brings up a 3rd and 7 now for the Bobcats from the 28 of the Comanches.
We'll find out. It's been 3rd and long. They've been dialing up, faking the, I think we're going to get a sprint out.
Heseltine's going to fire down the field, 1-on-1. Pass is going to be incomplete at the goal line.
I'll tell you what, Refugio again is incredibly lucky right there. Trevor Haynes, I don't even know any other way to put it, hit him right square in the hands. He should have caught that ball, and that would have been a touchback. Shiner getting the ball 1st and 10 at the 20. It's a 2nd dropped interception in the last 2 plays. They're giving Refugio a chance and giving them a break. We'll see if Refugio can capitalize this on a critical 4th and 7 play coming up.
7:33 left to play. Bobcats down by 14. 4th and 7 from the Shiner 28. And both crowds are on their feet. Heseltine will line up in the shotgun. 4th and 7 to go. Heseltine play fake on 4th down. Under pressure, fires down the field. Pass is caught inside the 10 and down inside the 5 with the forward progress. Goes Michael Thomas.
I'll tell you what, that was an interesting design. I give kudos to the offensive staff at Refugio. They ran the rail play that they did a couple of plays before and got the big play to Gross. That time they kind of shoulder faked it to him and hit the inside receiver right up the seam and had the safety overlapping right there and hit him right in that soft area. Big play. Now it's 1st and goal from the 5. We'll see if Refugio can capitalize and keep them in the ball game with a little over 7 minutes to play.
Heseltine in the gun, 1st and goal from the 5. Man in motion. Heseltine looking to throw, dumps it off, passes.
That's a lateral. That is a lateral. Oh, mercy.
They will call it incomplete.
I'll tell you what, Refugio, they're like a cat with 9 lives. That ball was thrown at least a yard and a half backwards. Should have been a lateral. Should have been Shiner's ball. Again, they've been given another chance. We'll see if they can capitalize it and put some points on the board here.
6:52 remaining. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 5 now for Refugio.
Unfortunately, those referees don't have the ability to have instant replay like I do sitting up here watching these big screen TVs inside of Alamo Dome.
Couple of men in motion, and a flag flies in pre-snap.
Looks like we're going to have a procedure penalty.
Neutral zone infraction, offside, on the defense.
That's an interesting call on a neutral zone infraction because usually they let that play go live unless they make contact. There was no contact made on that play, so it should have been played out with the flag going out for being offsides, but they shouldn't blow it as a dead ball foul when there's no contact being made. Interesting call there.
They'll advance it half the distance to the goal. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 3 now, as Hesseltine's going to be under center in the I formation.
Expect for them to slam it into number 9, Xavier Wills. He's their best power back. I think he's going to get the ball on a off-tackle play and see what they can do.
And this time another flag flies in, this time at the snap of the football. And we'll get another call from our head referee.
Little do I know they were faking the power right there and getting ready to throw off of it. So good thing I wasn't the defensive coordinator.
And wow, another call against Shiner, it looks like.
Yeah, Shiner's 2 or 3 times now. It looks like they're shooting themselves in the foot. You know, that lateral that wasn't called a lateral a while ago is turning out to be possibly a huge play in this ball game.
And the dropped interceptions.
And the 2 dropped interceptions, exactly. 3 different times just in this drive they should have had the football.
2nd and goal from about the 1 now. Hesseltine under center. Heavy backfield. It's going to be a handoff to Wills, who will power it across the goal line. Touchdown, Refugio.
Excellent power running by Wills. I tell you what, that was an interesting play right there. We had Hesseltine was coming back to hand the ball off to Wills, and one of his own linemen stepped on his foot. He was falling down as he was handing it off. Turned out to be a touchdown. Could have turned out to be disaster, you know, if he starts to hand off as he's falling down and loses control of the ball. But to his credit, he's a good athlete. He made the play, and here we are. We're in a big ball game again. It's 21-13 with the extra point coming up. You know, don't ever count Refugio out. If you think you need to do that, you need to go back and watch last year's ball game when these 2 teams were playing in the playoffs. The most unbelievable finish you could ever imagine.
They will send on Placencia for the extra point.
Well, see, here's what happened right here, and this was a good decision by Coach Herring right here not to burn a timeout. You only had 10 people out there on the extra point, so instead of him calling a timeout to get the 11th guy out there, just take the 5-yard penalty. It's still a short kick, and save the timeout. So it's going to be, you know, I think he learned his lesson from that when he called that timeout in the first half. No big deal. It's just another 5 yards back. If he can make a 20-yard field goal, he can make a 25-yard field goal.
Alexander Placencia, the sophomore kicker, is on for the extra point to look to make it a 7-point game. Kick is nearly blocked. It's on the way, and it is no good.
And right as I say, he can make a 20, make a 25. He pulls one to the left. That looks like my putting game out on the green where I'm putting right at the hole and push it 3 yards to the left. So, you know, it happens.
So the score will remain 21-13. Shiner on top. 6:46 left to play here on TexanLive.com.
Good ideas catch on fast. Good clean food, even faster. Now delivering for lunch and dinner. Panera, food as it should be.
Download the free Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Get live high school scores from across the state. Check out team schedules and show your school spirit live online. Download the best high school football app in Texas. Search Football Friday. Friday high school football isn't over till you watch High School Scoreboard live. Final scores, the big plays from gridiron games across the state.
Be a part of the most watched high school football show in Texas.
Friday night on Fox Sports Southwest.
Welcome you back in here on TexanLive.com. 6:46 to go. It is 21-13. Shiner on top. Refugio has scored to make it a ball game, but that missed extra point can come back to be huge later on.
Well, it is, because what it does mentally, if you're Shiner, you're still 2 scores up. Even though if they score a touchdown and go for 2, they can tie it up. But mentally, you're still 2 scores up because you know if they score, they can't, quote, beat you. They can only tie you. So it changes a little bit of your mental aspect, the way you're thinking about things. Like right here, Shiner's got their hands team out there expecting an onside kick, but there's still 6.5 minutes, 6 minutes, 46 seconds to go in the game. And I'd be shocked if Refugio didn't kick it deep where they don't have very much return blocking.
Here's the kick from Antoine Gross. It is an onside kick. Loose ball. Looks like Refugio may have it. This is going to be close.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was an unbelievably good onside kick right there. It took a perfect high bounce, hit right in the chest of number 1, Doug Brooks. He lost control of it. Looked like Refugio was going to come down with it, and it squirted out of his hands. And a good heads-up play by number 10, Drew Winsky, to come up with the onside kick cover.
Offside on the kicking team. 5 yards will be added to the end of the kick.
Next thing you do now, you're giving him a short field. Not only is there only 6.5 minutes, a little over 6.5 minutes and change left in the ball game, and now you're giving Shiner a short field. And even if they don't score, the very last thing they're going to do is force Refugio to drive the entire length of the field to try to score and have to make a 2-point conversion to tie it up.
It's worth noting that both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining with 6:45 to go. We have a stoppage in play pre-snap.
And it's got to be so frustrating for the Refugio coaching staff. There's been 3 different times during this ball game where they lined up for special teams, punt, kickoff return, where they've only had 10 guys on the field and had to burn a penalty burn a timeout one time in the first half, and then took the penalty and then missed the extra point because of it right afterwards.
Man in motion for the Comanches. Under center is Tyler Palmer. This will be a handoff to Zane Rhodes. Rhodes finds a little bit of a lane, and he's down to the 44.
Power play off tackle to the left, and Zane Rhodes is a tough runner. Boy, he took some punishment right there. He took a really big hit. I believe it was the safety, number 4, Alan Perez, came up and delivered a big lick. It's been a physical ball game, and you wouldn't expect anything less from the number 1 and number 2 team in the state.
This is now a 2nd down and 6 from the Refugio 44 for the Shiner Comanches, who look to burn out as much clock as they can and maybe even score to put it away.
Yeah, you're getting ready to see Shiner run a bunch of plays and going to run a bunch of time off the clock in between plays.
Here's a toss to Doug Brooks, and Doug Brooks is driving down to the 40. He'll be still about 2 yards shy of the line to gain, but a good run.
Yeah, I think what you're getting ready to see is 3rd and a yard and a half. I expect them to give the ball to the big man, Brooks, again, pick up the first down. But if you'll notice what Shiner's doing now, they're taking every bit of that 40-second clock down to shorten up this game as much as they can with an 8-point lead. They're so close right now they can taste it. They have that horrible taste in their mouth from last year's playoff game against Refugio, and I think they're excited about changing that to a different direction.
It is 3rd down and 2 now from the 40-yard line. They need to get to the 38 for a fresh set of downs as Cash Shows is in motion.
They're going off tackle to the left here. Going to hand the ball to Brooks. Going to try to move the sticks. There it is right there.
You called it as down inside the 40 is Brooks. Needed 2 and got 3.
It's one of those plays. Again, it doesn't look real fancy, doesn't look attractive, but all it does is move the chain. I tell you what, as an ex-head coach, you love those kind of things. You don't have to be fancy. Just be productive, get those shoulders going north and south, and go chew up some yards, and move the stick and run the clock.
Of course, the winner of this game will advance to the state semifinals to take on the winner of Timpson and Beckville.
I tell you what, Timpson's got a powerhouse team this year. They're 13-0 right now. They come from that area, Tenaha, Timpson, Bobo, up there in Far East Texas, home of Shannon Permenter. Used to be a head coach a couple of different places, a friend of mine, and they play good brand of football up there as well.
Here's a toss play this time. He's trying to bounce it outside is Trevor Haynes, and he's going to be driven back at about the 37.
Yeah, I like the call right there. What I don't like is the decision that Trevor Haynes made right there in this critical point in the ball game, trying to bounce a big play outside to go for a home run instead of getting his shoulders over and going and getting the 2 or 3 tough yards. Now they're putting them in a little bit of a bind when it's 2nd down and they're behind the chain.
2nd down and 11 coming up as we approach the 4-minute mark left to play. Refugio does have all 3 timeouts left in the back pocket of head coach Jason Herring. And coming down to the wire, Coach.
It is. It's exciting. It's everything as advertised.
Palmer under center on 2nd down and 11. Option play, Palmer will keep it running to the outside. Palmer's going to be inside the 30-yard line, trucks the defender, and he's inside the 25.
He said, "Hello, Mr. Gross, here I come." It's crazy because Shiner is known for being a Houston veer, split back veer offensive football team. That's only the 3rd time in the entire ball game where they've actually run the veer. And that time they read it right correctly. Quarterback pulled it, made an outstanding read, and caught him off balance because they hadn't been doing it much tonight. Big play for a first down for Shiner.
They mark him out and down at the 26. Still a 1st and 10 coming up for Shiner. With 3:46 left to play.
It's going to be that time where somebody like Xavier Wills is going to have to come up with a big play defensively. Somebody's got to make a big play for them.
There's a quarterback sneak for Palmer, and he's down to the 21.
There's 5.5 yards again on 1st and 10 on the quarterback sneak. It's amazing. Gavin, have you ever seen this before in a ball game where just a staple part of their offense right in the middle of the ball game in the heat of the battle on 1st down, run quarterback sneak?
I can tell you that I have not.
I'm loving it. Again, as an ex-quarterback 30-something years ago, it's just something that's the quarterback weapon is quarterback sneak is one of the best weapons that nobody ever runs anymore. And the people that do run it and run it well, it's making a huge difference in this ball game.
3:10 and counting left to play. Palmer under center, 2nd down and 5 from the 21. Man in motion. Palmer will hand it off, bouncing it to the near side, still churning, and down to the 20 with the forward progress. Goes Dalton Brooks, the sophomore.
Yeah, excellent pursuit right there from the defense. You know, Refugio, there's too much pride and too much tradition on their side. They're not going to give up. They're going to fight this thing tooth and nail for 4 quarters. You know, all of a sudden you got a big 3rd and 4, you know, coming up. Shiner converts this 3rd down right here. In my opinion, the game is over. If they stop them right here, I don't, you know, the wing converter, the kicker is an outstanding kicker for Shiner. I don't know if they want to put it on his leg, go up by 2 scores or not, or just go for it. But it's going to be an interesting concept, see what happens right here unfold on these next 2 downs. 3rd and 4, Palmer under center. Quarterback sneak driving forward. And he's going to be a couple yards shy of the line to gain at the 16. Yeah, Refugio takes their first time out. You know, it's 4th, and it's going to be about maybe 1.5 yards. Obviously, without saying, you know, it's pretty apparent it's the biggest play of the game coming up. It'll be 4th and 2 for Shiner when we come back here on TexanLive.com.
There's always a way to make joy, America, so it's time to get to it. And with the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event, we're here to help. We're giving you the best deals of the season on the adventure-ready Ford Ranger and the Built Ford Tough Ford F-150 to help you make some extra joy this year. Because this season will be as bright as ever. Ford, built for the holidays. Now, get $11,245 total savings on F-150, plus an extra $1,000 trade assist cash. See your best in Texas Ford dealer.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
It is 4th down and 2 from the 18-yard line for Shiner as we welcome you back in here on TexanLive.com. And, Coach, this is the play of the game thus far. Without a doubt, without a doubt. It's going to come down to those 5 offensive linemen up front for Shiner against those 5 defensive linemen up front for Refugio to see who wants it the worst. They need to get to the 16 for a new set of downs. Refugio has 2 timeouts left. Palmer under center, 4th down and 2. Be a great time for a hard count. They didn't do it right there, but it would have been a great time for it. Pitch out to Brooks. Brooks is going to have the first down, and he's down inside the 15 to the 13. Big first down for Shiner. I will tell you one thing I'm incredibly impressed with right there. For them to have the confidence to let the quarterback pitch the ball on 4th and 2 with the game on the line is one thing, but to have a sophomore running back that catches the ball on the pitch, and instead of trying to dance and go out of bounds, he has the wherewithal and the knowledge to just get the first down and stay in bounds to get the clock running. It's pretty impressive. And the clock does continue to move down to 1:50 and churning. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line of the Bobcats for Shiner. Down to 1:40. Tyler Palmer under center. Man in motion is Wensky. I think you're going to see a whole lot of this and be really, really conservative with these next 2 or 3 plays just because, you know, Refugio is going to have to burn a timeout. I'm shocked that they're not burning one right now. They're going to let this thing play out for 1 more play before they burn 2 more timeouts. Coming up is a 2nd down and 8 from the 11 for the Comanche offense. So we're down to 1:10. Clock continues to move. Yeah, absolutely shocked that they're not burning a timeout right now and then burning a timeout right on the next play and at least face a 4th down option, make them make a decision one way or another. One receiver out wide either side. Palmer under center. Single back behind him is Doug Brooks. Palmer, keeper, and he's driving inside the 10, down to the 7. I tell you what, that shows you how much confidence that the Shiner coaching staff has in their senior quarterback. You know, they got a bunch of perimeter guys that are sophomores and juniors for the most part, backs and receivers. When the game is on the line, they're putting the ball in the hands of their senior leader, and it's paying off for them. A kid is really, really good protecting the football. Even all the tapes I watched on them, I don't think I ever saw him put it on the ground one time. And with 44 seconds left, it'll be 3rd down and 4 from the 7 for Shiner. We'll keep it right here on Texan Live. And, Coach, you have a couple of options here. You can try to put it in the air, maybe get inside the 5, get in the end zone. Maybe you run the ball, make Refugio burn that final timeout and see what you can do there. What do you do? Well, if I'm the head coach, I'm dang sure not going to put it in the air because you take a chance on it being incomplete or an interception and the fact that it stops the clock if it's incomplete. I'm putting the ball in the hands of my best 1 or 2 or 3 players. Number 1, Dalton Brooks, or number 2, Doug Brooks, or more than likely I'm keeping the ball in the hands of my senior leader and quarterback and forcing Refugio to make a play. Even if they don't make a play, they're going to have to burn their last time out. And then Shiner still got the ball inside the 5-yard line, and that would give Refugio, you know, worst case scenario for Shiner, Refugio gets the ball inside their own 5-yard line with 20-something seconds left in the ball game and no timeouts.
So they're behind the 8 ball right now. I think they're going to be very, very conservative and keep the ball in the hands of their quarterback.
He'll split a receiver out wide to the near side. It's going to be the sophomore Drew Winsky. 3rd and 4 from the 7 of Refugio for Shiner.
Wouldn't be a bad idea putting it in 250-pound running back's hands either.
Palmer under center. He goes with the hard count.
There you go. Good job of them calling a timeout just to make darn sure they want to do something right. They got timeouts to burn. They might as well burn one and talk it out and make sure they want to do what they want to do.
With 44 seconds left, we'll take a timeout with them. 3rd and 4 coming up on TexanLive.com.
Good ideas catch on fast. Good clean food, even faster. Now delivering for lunch and dinner. Panera, food as it should be.
Let's get to it, America. Because joy doesn't just happen. You make it happen. And during the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event, we're helping you make even more joy. Come get the best deals of the season with offers on select Ford SUVs and Ford Fusion. Everything you need to make the holidays brighter than ever. That's how we're making joy this season. How will you? Now get $13,955 in savings on Expedition or 0 for 72 plus $2,500 on Explorer at your Texas Ford dealer.
So following the Shiner timeout, it is still 3rd and 4 from the 7 for the Comanches. 44 seconds left. Refugio has 1 timeout remaining.
I think they're going to give the ball to Rhodes off tackle right here to the right. There you go, right there.
Handoff. Rhodes is down to the 5. He's going to be about a yard shy of the line to gain.
And Rhodes is fighting, tough, hard-nosed senior running back, defensive end. But he's got to understand that score and that extra yard is not near as important as the possession and holding on the football. He kind of scared me for Shiner's sake. Whenever he's trying to fight for extra yardage, he kind of stuck the ball out to the side, and that's an opportunity to get a fumble created. You'd rather him lose yardage and protect the ball than try to bounce outside and take a chance on turning the ball over.
And even with the forward progress, they will say Zane Rhodes actually lost a yard back to the 8, so it'll be 4th down and 5 for Shiner. And
obviously, if this was major Division I college or NFL, it's a no-brainer. You go kick the short field goal and go up by 2 scores, game, set, match. But when you get a situation where obviously this kicker has not been in this situation because they're 13-0 and they've won all 13 of their ball games handily with the exception of the East Bernard game, coached by a fine squad with Wade Bossy. But right here, it's not quite so easy to want to pull the trigger and go kick a field goal, especially you have a chance to get it blocked and then run it back. They're going to try to kick a field goal right here. It looks like it. If they do and they're that confident in him, great. They win the ball game. But if something crazy happens where, when this thing gets blocked or bobbled, you got something new happening.
Here's the kick from Connor Winkenwerder. Snap down, kick on the way from Winkenwerder is up, and it's good.
And that just shows, I mentioned that early in the ball game, for a Class 2A size school, Shiner has an unbelievably gifted kicker. This kid is good. You look at him on all the other extra points and on kickoffs and everything, that's what number 1 teams in the state do. They have good role players that can make big plays in critical situations. It's exactly what Winkenwerder did right there. Here it is now, a 2-possession game with 32 seconds, and it looks like Shiner is going to advance on to the 5th round of the state semifinals. Just a big moment for their program and for their school and for this football team in 2020.
32 seconds left. Shiner will be set to kick it away. They now lead it by 11. And Coach, you said earlier this game has lived up to expectations, no doubt.
Without a doubt. It really has played out a lot like I thought it would. Both teams are explosive, but Shiner has the ability to lean on your grind clock with that running game, and you look up and they've got a 7-yard drive and they've knocked 8 minutes off the clock. And it's frustrating if you're a Refugio coach and you've got all these weapons offensively over there sitting on the sideline just waiting to get back on the field. They can't because they're getting ball controlled, and that's exactly what's happened tonight in this ball game. Or today, excuse me.
Connor Winkenwerder, the senior, will come out following his field goal to put Shiner up by 11. To kick it off center hash from the 40. .32 seconds remain in the ball game. Winkenwerder's kick on the way. It's going to be a short squib-like kick. It'll be fielded on a bounce inside the 20-yard line by Refugio. They try to pick it up, and he's going to be driven down back at the 15.
Ooh, big hit from Marshall Peterson on kick coverage right there. And, one of the things that goes unmentioned, I have an enormous amount of respect for Coach Herring and the Refugio team with what they've been able to accomplish over the years. But it just seems like from early in this ball game, when you've got a senior-dominated team like Shiner is, I think they've got over 20 seniors on their roster, which is unbelievable for a school their size. And then that's what you had last year with the Refugio. They were more of the senior-dominated older team, and Shiner was the younger team, and you're getting reverse roles this year, and I think you're seeing a lot more senior leadership taking over in crunch time in the fourth quarter, including the kicker, who's the senior as well.
So Shiner with 28 seconds left will burn a timeout. Refugio has none remaining. They're down by 11 are the Bobcats with the football from their 18-yard line here on TexanLive.com. We'll be right back.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Download the free Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Get live high school scores from across the state. Check out team schedules and show your school spirit live online. Download the best high school football app in Texas. Search Football Friday.
Back and ready to resume play here on TexanLive.com. 28 seconds left. Refugio has to go 82 yards to score, and then they need some help from there.
Yeah, we're kind of in desperation time a little bit. You know, Shiner's back playing 3 deep coverage with the corners bailing out. They're going to give up everything underneath and try to come and rally and make a tackle, wrap up and end the ball game with Refugio out of timeouts.
Ball start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, the one thing, Gavin, I was mentioning to you earlier, anytime you have two highly talented traditional programs like Shiner and Refugio playing each other, it almost always seems like when you play these type of games, it's always going to come down to the team that's more senior dominated. I don't know why that is, but it just seems like that's the way it is, because those kids are in their mind, this could be my last ball game. I'm not going to let it happen on my watch, and that's kind of the way it was played out in this fourth quarter tonight.
28 seconds left. It's 1st and 15 from their own 13 for the Refugio Bobcats as Caleb Hesseltine is back in at quarterback. Empty backfield shotgun set. Hesseltine will look to throw. Steps up. He's going to fire down the field. Passes incomplete. Flags are down.
You know, Shiner ran a little one-man linebacker blitz right there. Christian Wagner coming in and making a big hit on Hesseltine right when he's throwing the football.
5-yard penalty, replay the down.
You know, the big thing about that is the penalties really doesn't mean that much this point in time in the game as much as the clock. So while the play's going on, even though it's a penalty, the clock is running.
Down to 24 seconds we go. 1st and 10 from their own 18 now for Refugio. Hesseltine in the gun, looking to throw. Down to 20 seconds. Fires down the field. Pass is going to be caught, and it's going to be a lateral to Gross, who will go down inside the 35 to the 33. Clock will stop with 16 seconds to go for the moment.
That was a heck of a play right there. You got across the middle, hook and ladder. Reminded me a lot of Boise State back in the day when they played Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl several years ago. Same type of play like that. Run the ball. Boise State goes all the way down and scores on that play, and then he comes to the sideline and proposes to the cheerleader over there on the sideline. Now they're happily married ever after. Maybe I'm showing my age a little bit from remembering something like that. My wife gets on me, say I can't remember her birthday, but I can remember plays like that 15 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
11 seconds left. It'll be second down. No, it should be first down from the 33. No, second down because they spiked it. Hesseltine in the gun, man in motion. Hesseltine will look to throw, 10 seconds. It's going to be brought down for the sack back inside the 20-yard line, and that'll do it.
That's going to be your last play of the game.
Shiner knocks off the defending state champion Refugio Bobcats, and the Comanches are on to the state semifinals.
Congratulations to the Shiner Comanches on a hard-fought regional final victory. Gavin, it's been a pleasure working with you. This game everything is advertised. I just feel fortunate as an ex-head football coach to be able to sit up in the stands with you and just watch a great high school football game. That's the reason I did it for 30 years. And, This has been amazing, and I appreciate you guys having me on air and allowing me to come up here and participate with you guys.
Coach, don't forget we're not done yet. We got plenty more football coming up this weekend on TexanLive.com, plenty more playoff games. And tonight, me and you, we've got Wimberley taking on Navarro over at Bernie.
It ought to be another big one. I'm quite familiar with both of those teams, haven't seen them a bunch, and it's going to be a showdown tonight as well up at Bernie.
Once again, your final score, Shiner 24, Refugio 13, and that'll do it for us here on TexanLive.com. Shiner on to the state semifinals. A special thank you to everyone who made this production possible. General Manager back in the studio, Jesse Wolf, head coach and owner, Burt Brocker. Special thanks to our on-site producer, Dre Matula, sending off myself and head coach Ryan Rourke. I'm Gavin Moritz saying thank you, stay safe, and good afternoon, everyone.
Thanks for watching this production of Texan Live. Watch us online at TexanLive.com and on demand at Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire.